and after reading the textbook, it can speak that language. So if you give it docs on anything, it can help really well. Gemini is kind of cool too because you can link it up with Google Docs. So then you can start asking it questions about documents that you have, and it can go and pull them in and analyze from there. Grok, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Grok. Grok is great too. Right now it's free as well. It runs open source models, like there's the Gem 70, along with 70 billion, or Mistral 7B. I like this one. Grok is really cool too, just because it's so fast. For example, does anyone have an example question? Fast. It does like 520 tokes. That was 2.8 seconds to break that. So Grok is really good, and you can hook it up with an API as well. And then it's amazing because it runs basically as if it's just a regular function call. It's generating everything. And there's the Grok Playground. So here you can kind of set the different models, set everything up, and then export the code, whichever language you're working with. And then if you have like so if you do that, it'll show you everything in here as well, so that it's easy to set up your own apps and stuff, or get your own little workflows happening. Anthropic is amazing too. They just came out with some new models. Opus 3, or the Claude 3, Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku. Opus is their one that's kind of challenging. GPT-4 beats it out in some ratings, others it's close. It has I think 120,000 context window, or 256 as well. It's really, really smart. It's the Claude 3. It's really good. The answers are really well done. It's great for coding assistance as well, if you use that. Does anyone have any questions before I ramble on too far? I will keep rambling. Okay. So that's a quick overview on, actually, not all. So there's also Hugging Face. Hugging Face is amazing for kind of open source. It's kind of like GitHub, but for AI. So you can find pretty much every open source model is here. There's thousands. You can kind of check if you want it for document question answering. Here's a bunch of models that are trained on that. And then they're super easy to use. Spaces. Spaces are cool too. These are kind of like little repos that spin up into an actual app. So people, well, it's good too if you want to build something that don't have GPU. You can just create a new space, pick if Streamlit and Gradio, whichever. Those are kind of work with Python, and it makes it really easy to get a little front end interface going with Python code. or you could just do it Docker or just like a static HTML5. And then with that, you can kind of do up a little site, and then it, well, let's just do a blank one. You can pick, so here it's now booted up into the space, and then you can go into files, and then can hook it up to GitHub so you can work in VS Code, or you can just kind of come into here, it's the entry file, and edit. And then as soon as you save, it pushes changes and you can check the app. And then with this, you can, where you can assign different GPUs to it. So you can get up to like an A100 or something. So, and you can have it spin down if it's after 10 minutes of inactivity or 5 minutes or 2 days or whatever you want. So if you just have some tasks that you want to do and you want to crank them out on a really good GPU, you can spin it up, run it for a few minutes, and then when you're done, it shuts down. And it's, depending on the GPU or system you're using, it's between 3 cents and about $6 an hour. So depending what you're working on, it can be pretty cheap. The big ones are expensive, but they're fast. So if it's something that's a lot of computation, sometimes it's cheaper just to go with the big one and use it for 15 minutes instead of using a small one and having to let it run for exponentially longer. So that's Hugging Face. So for some local stuff, so NVIDIA recently came out with this RTX chat, or chat RTX. It runs local models. It's open source, and here, I'll spin it up. Here. So it spins up in the console when you boot it. It has just an exe file, and it takes a minute to add that. I haven't pulled up a coffee yet this morning. And this is a 15-minute video, 16 minutes. That it's there to go. Okay. I do prefer Olama. It's a little more, it's lighter and it's kind of quick. You do have to use it with console. You can load it into any kind of front end, but yeah, it's kind of a little more solid. This one, it is like in the process here, it's taking the info and then chunking it and storing it into a RAG vector store so that this model can be able to now talk to the video essentially.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. I'm back on Wi-Fi now, so I had a comment. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you can, the folder path one, you can basically just give it documents and then ask questions about it, and then, yeah, or just a regular chat. And this one, for the RTX one, you do need to have an RTX graphics card. It's free, but they're like, you need that. It is open source though, so everything's there that you could hack away and make it for an AMD if you had, or had the ambition to. But yeah, with this one, it's just kind of, if you're on Windows, it's an exe file. You just click and load, and then you can start. It'll give you a link, and then the link pops up the console and gives you the link that I had there. Or in Linux, you can do a Linux installer Mac is, I think, just traditional Mac install with it. But as well, everything is open source with that one too, so you can chop it up however you see fit. You can just eject the model, free up to. Just try and make sure to eject the model if you use this one when you're done, just to make sure it frees up your hard drive space or graphic card. Sorry, coffee's still processing. So that one, if you search chat RTX, it'll come up top at the top there. LM Studio, it's lmstudio.ai. Ollama is ollama.com. And then that one, to install it, it's just pip install Ollama, and that's it. And then to use it, it's just Ollama run and the model name. And if you don't have the model, it'll go get it and then start it for you. And if you have it, it'll spin it up in a few seconds. It is in the console, but it's super easy. If you want to run it as a server, you just go Ollama serve, and then it spins up. And then in the prompt call, you just tell it what model, and you give it the URL with the port, and it'll just ping it and say this model, and then it grabs it and sends the answer. It's super convenient. And it's good for testing, because then you can kind of work on building something at home, or put it on Hugging Face or whatever. And then from there, you can, when you're ready, just throw it onto a server or cloud infrastructure somewhere, and you have your app running. But you can kind of do everything before scaling it locally without it costing thousands of dollars to do tests and everything. And if you're running any kind of AI agents or anything like that, it's way better to have good models running locally doing it, because AI can get expensive, but when it's AI talking to AI, it can get expensive really fast. When there's a human in the middle, there's at least that delay time of reading through it and going, okay, next, or typing. When it's AI talking to AI, especially if you're using something like Grok, it's like 3 seconds back and forth for pages of data. So it's if it's not local, it can get really expensive, depending how it's being run. The Google Gemini 1.5, well, this one, they have some sample videos here. I haven't done this one yet. A tour of the Natural Museum of History. So this, I think, is like a 10-minute video. So when it's done loading, I'm going to tell it to explain the video to me as if I was blind. This one isn't super fast, but okay. So the video comes out to 473,000 tokens. It's a 30-minute video. So this will probably take a minute, so we can come back to this one. Gemini, if anyone hasn't tried it, it's gemini.google.com. And then with that one, I think they have 2 months, the first 2 months are free right now. And it gives you more Google memory. Grok is great. It's whitelisted, but if you apply, they're generally pretty quick on letting people onto it. And it's, or it might even just be open now. But yeah, it's really good.
I think I was able to get on pretty quickly yesterday, I think. So it was pretty quick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, like it's so fast. Let's try a different model. That was better. Yeah, so then there's Grok, kick it onto the Grok playground. Anthropic, they have Claude 3 as their kind of chatbot. There is also a GPT chat. I didn't go into that one, but I assume most people have seen this one by now. The GPTs are kind of cool. You can kind of create your own little, you need the Plus account, but if you have that, I need a research assistant. So now it'll make a data research assistant. And then if you give it more requirements to exactly what it needs, yeah, basically pre-configured a little assistant, can give it code interpreter, and then you can give it actions too. So if you want to have it access an external API to pull in data or to process something externally, like for example, weather, you can give it a little weather API, and then within your app, it can do that. That, okay, oh wait, it didn't eject properly, and now there's some RAM over, and now it just crashed. And whereas with this, it just does it. It's kind of nice.
Nice. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it seems like, I mean, a lot of our students, some might be technical, but for those that are not as technical, kind of digging into the space, maybe new to the space, or just been around for a while and starting to dig into research and more technical flows, Ollama might be a good tool to start using to kind of get away from the online models and start moving into, using the console, interacting with AI in new ways. But generally, thank you so much, Jeff, for coming on and sharing with us. Generally, again, Jeff has come on to the students and said that you can definitely reach out for questions afterwards, or kind of if you have specific issues with some of these tools that we've kind of gone over in class. Please feel free to you could obviously tag Jeff in this NCR thread or channel. But as well, please feel free to message Jeff elsewhere. We didn't really get to do a little overview of like who Jeff is and why is Jeff here, and like, well, this person that's coming to teach us about AI and how to interact. So I did just kind of want to give a little overview, and then I think I do have to head out. So yeah, Jeff is a lifelong entrepreneur. Been involved with a range of different businesses. Back in the good old days, CD, DVD duplication, and then kind of moving on to being a DJ producer for the past 25 years. But the past 4 or so years, been building in web in development, and 3 and a bit of those on Near, which is awesome. So I've been seeing Jeff build things on Near for quite a while now. So whether it's Near Hubs or Tamago, and then now obviously with the NDC, the gaming working group as well. And postaid.ai, I do want to share that link because I think it's cool. I think it's a cool AI tool to try and engage with. So I'll share that quickly in the chat. We do have a poll that's just been released by Nedlar as well. I am going to share my continue your screen. Okay, so just to get this over in the next couple of minutes, we are currently going through this class. We have a few modules to go through, but we're currently, actually this needs to be updated a bit, but we're currently in week 4, going through advanced data analysis techniques with AI. For this class, I know we didn't get much of a chance to go through each of these pre-reading materials. I will go through them very quickly from a high level, just to kind of overview, some of these more detailed topics about how students might be engaging in research. Sorry, using AI to engage in research. The water deliveries here and the dogs are going crazy. But anyway, I wanted to go through these quickly. So this article here is going through like using AI tools to write a research article in a weekend. So it's very just non-technical, down to earth, teaching you like, okay, how to choose a well-defined topic, how do you gather relevant material, outline your paper. So again, next week, we're going to go through topic selection and start writing these research or working on these research projects. And so again, this is kind of teaching you how AI can help you start with that process. The next one here is a article for, again, using AI tools effectively in academic research. And again, I'm not going to go through this quickly. Just to get through the next 5 minutes. Sorry, these dogs are actually going crazy. I did want to go through this one a bit more. This is an actual academic paper going through how ChatGPT-4 has been kind of shaking things up in terms of AI use in research. And this is specifically talking about like writing papers with AI, some of the benefits, but also some of the issues that might come. So like understanding how to interact with your AI tools and understanding that AI is not sentient and stuff like that. So some of the policies that might exist in papers. So if you're using AI for school or for work, there might actually be policies in place telling you how to use those tools. But yeah, this last article here is going through a specific use case of AI in research, trying to figure out for kidney disease. I think that was it's not using Web3 specifically, but it did seem useful. And the last thing I wanted to go over was an actual application, which Shill GPT. So the homework for today's class is for everyone to actually engage with AI in some way, not for research, but this could be used later on for research. So I'll quickly go over how this works, and students can go through it a bit later. So you choose a token that you want to sell. Let's pick the first one since it's easy. The token you want to buy. The second one so it's easy. Why do you want to sell LONK and why do you want to buy Neko? So Neko is a community token that supports many open source projects. So hopefully this works. Let's see. We can connect and it'll redirect to the wallet to have me sign, and then I'll be able to interact. So